This is going to be a tutorial on how to use Adobe Illustrator and open a basic document and play around with the shape tool as you get ready for your laser light project. So the first thing you'll want to do is to find Adobe Illustrator. Now for me, it's out here on my desktop, but for you, you may need to go up to the search, the little magnifying glass, and just pop in Adobe. You'll see this little icon here. We don't want to have Acrobat, so we'll do Illustrator. I'll just return on that, and that'll get me to the right place. It might take a little bit for you to upload Illustrator on your computers, but once you have it, you'll go up to File, then you're going to create a new document. And in my version of Adobe Illustrator, the measurements and also the name of the document will be here. In your version, which is a little newer, you may have to come up into the print window up at the top, and that'll give you the dimensions here. But just take a minute to find that, and then once you have, you want to set your dimensions in inches, and you want to go with 24 inches wide and 18 inches high. That's the landscape view, so it's wider than high, and those are the dimensions that we need to use the laser cutter. Then I'm going to go up here, and I'm just going to put in a name here that says Illustrator Shape Practice. And I'll press OK. Okay, and then I have my document here. If you look over here at this menu over to the left, you'll see 5 or 6 tools down is the shape tool, and here it's on ellipse because that's the last shape I was using. If you just click here, it will select whatever the last shape was that was used. But if you take 2 fingers on the mouse pad, you can see that you can get more choices in your shapes. And so I could do a rectangular or a rounded rectangle, an ellipse, which is also a circle, polygon, star, or the flare down here. And I really just want you to come over to your document and play around with lots of different shapes, or you could just choose one. So for me, I'm just going to play around with the ellipse tool here, and I'm going to come over here and just start making these ellipses. Now, as you're thinking about your design for your laser light piece, it could be as simple as, a bunch of shapes. And so that's kind of what I'm demonstrating here. Now, if you can imagine that this material would be a piece of wood or plastic, and then kind of like an X-Acto knife, it's going to cut all around these lines here. So I could take this, if this were made of paper, and I could, kind of fold it and bend it around and make it like a rounded paper lantern, or you could decide to break this up into 4 panels. And remember, wherever there's a line is where the laser cutter is going to cut. Now, this is looking pretty nice to me right now, except it kind of bugs me that these are all different sizes and not real regular. So I'm going to erase my previous actions and press the Command key, which is the icon with the little butterfly type looking tool, and at the same time press the Shift key. And I'm just not the Shift, sorry, the Z, Command Z. And Command Z just takes me back and undoes what I've done. Then I'm going to come up here to my lasso tool, and that's going to select this here, right? And I'm going to do Command C for copy, and then I'm going to take this shape and I'm just going to take it and repeat it over and over again so that I get the same dimensions. And I'll just come here. This makes it a little bit more regular. Now again, or I think I mentioned this in class, if you aren't very experienced with Illustrator, then you might do something very simple like this and do shapes. Or if you are experienced or you want to take on the challenge, you could do something like a mandala, or you could even trace over images, which could be pretty cool as well. But this is just the basic shape tool. Keep it simple for now, and when you're finished with this, just save it. So I'm going to come up here, and you'll want to show it to me. So I'm just going to save it on my desktop. Illustrator Shape Practice to my desktop here, and you'll show it to me. Here we go. And then I'll know that you know how to open up a basic document with the correct dimensions for the laser cutter, and you can play around with basic shapes. Alrighty, there you go.